All Elite Wrestling just had its Double or Nothing rally. Let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? TonyPizzaGuy here, back again with The Slam, your daily source for WWE news Monday through Friday and pro wrestling news. Now, we need to talk about All Elite Wrestling, so if you do have any news scoops that I can't cover here, make sure you let me know in the comment section below. So, they had their All In Double or Nothing All Elite Wrestling Rally. Woo, that's a mouthful. So, they did it from Jacksonville, Florida, and here's all the details that you need to know going on about All Elite Wrestling, all the latest info that we do know. So first off, it was an awesome press conference. I do think that they need to work a little bit more on the technology side. The stream was cool. They had multiple camera angles, but the quality was a little low. I guess the connection maybe, but that was just an issue. And then the microphones weren't the best. So right off the bat, we had Pyro going off, and then we had Conrad Thompson and another guy who slips my mind right now. I should have got his name written down here, but they were talking about it. They were kind of like the hosts of this rally here, and they were talking about it. And then out come SCU. We had Scorpio, Frankie Kazarian, and Daniels came out, and they did their stuff. Shtick did their stick. And then out came Cody, and he came out and talked about some things. And then the Bucks came out, and they talked about some things. And then the Bucks said that they are teaming up with OWE, which I think is called Orient Wrestling Entertainment in China. And they're going to team up with the Good Hearts. They call it like Circus Dole mixed with wrestling. And it's some of the craziest stuff you've ever seen. So they're partnering with them. So they did also like go back and forth. And they're like, I want to make the announcement. No, I want to make the announcement. And then they announced that on May 25th in Las Vegas, they're going to run their first show under the All Elite Wrestling banner called Double or Nothing at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas. And that's pretty huge because, again, MGM Grand is a big statement. Vegas is awesome, and I think that's a great venue for wrestling. WCW used to run it, and I think that's great for that. And it's just going to be huge. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge, so we know that. Brandy came out at one point, Brandy Rhodes, and she talked about all kinds of crazy stuff. I think this was the part that she came out. I have like little notes written down, but I believe Brandy came out at one point and said there's going to be equal pay for women. I believe that's what she said. Or was it Britt Baker that came out? I can't call it right now. Anyway, Britt Baker came out. She was announced on the roster. Brandy came out and said she's all in on this. She's going to put her heart and soul into this. She says there's going to be equal pay for women. So that's pretty cool. So they're going to get paid just as much as the men. And she's one of the first people announced, and that was pretty cool. MJF came out and he was cutting a promo. He was being a heel and all that stuff. One of the cool things that they said early on is that they're not going to make you know who the heel and faces are. They're not going to dictate who the heel and faces are. You can cheer who you want. You can boo who you want, and that's pretty cool. They also said they're going to take some changes here and make things different in the wrestling business than are done before. So MJF came out, did his thing. Joey Janela came out with Penelope Ford, and that was really cool. Joey Janela signed as well. Penelope Ford signed. Hangman Adam Page came out. He cut a really awesome heel promo. Pac came out, a.k.a. Neville. So Neville's a part of this dang thing with the Dragon Gate Championship. He was in his gear ready to wrestle, so that was pretty interesting. And then we don't know. That match, I guess, will probably happen at Double or Nothing. Pac versus Adam Page, because Adam Page said he wants to be the first champion, and Pac came out and said, I'm already a champion. So we'll see. They did come out again and say there's going to be a second show in Jacksonville, Florida. They didn't announce where, when, or why, but they did say that they're going to donate proceeds to the victims of gun violence. So that's pretty cool. And last but certainly not least, we found out that Chris Jericho is following suit here, and he is joining All Elite Wrestling. This was huge because rumored that Jericho was going to be a part of it, but now that he is, WWE officially moved him to the alumni page, which is pretty funny. So Jericho not in the Rumble. Will this mean Jericho is not going to be in New Japan Pro Wrestling anymore? I don't know. Depends on what kind of agreement they got there. So Jericho's the last piece of the puzzle there. And he said, we're not only going to change the world, but we're going to change the universe. which is pretty interesting because WWE calls themselves the WWE Universe. So nice shooting, Cowboy. So there you go. We got Pyro, SCU, Cody, OWE, May 25th, Las Vegas MGM Grand, Equal Pay for Women, Britt Baker, MJF, Joey Janela, Penelope Ford, Adam Page, Neville, Jericho, 2 shows. Second show in Florida. So that's pretty interesting. And then there was something that was very interesting. There was like interviews after the show, and a lot of people were asking about like health insurance. You're talking about changing the world. You're changing the way the business works. Are you going to make health insurance a thing in the wrestling business? And they said they want to do something. You know, they said that's a goal. They're working to do it. They're pretty much thinking of like the way that it works with actors and the Screen Actors Guild, I think is what it's called. And they have their like whole, like they work with that. It's like a union kind of thing. And then that's how they get health insurance. And then they kind of want to do that in professional wrestling, which I think would be really, really cool. They said that they do see a lot of wrestlers that are like older and they have nothing to show for all the hard work that they did because they're beaten down and their bodies are destroyed, and that just sucks. So that's very, very interesting. It makes me wonder, though, because out of all this, right, they didn't announce anything with television, which I guess not. They didn't announce what Double or Nothing is going to be, if it's going to be a pay-per-view on the Fight TV that we know about, you know, like they did their last show on Fight. Is this going to be on Fight as well? What's that? The second show is in Jackson, Florida. When's that going to be? We don't know a lot of major details that could be in here, but we know a pretty good roster, and we can assume that there's going to be a lot more going on there. I do think the production that they did here could have been a little bit better. It was cool because I saw some cell phone video of Chris Jericho, and I posted on Twitter at TonyPizzaGuy if you haven't seen it. And it was cool. There was like a lot of buzz. There was pyro. It sounded really good, but on camera they just didn't have the mic situation the best. I would have put a crowd mic, and then I would have had the mic up there, but it was just kind of a little weird, and the quality wasn't the greatest, but I think it might have been a connection thing doing this first thing. But honestly, I think being with the Khan family and Jacksonville Jaguars and all that, I think there's a lot of cool things that are going to come out of this. I think the way that they're doing it is super cool, and I'm super excited about it, so much that I had to make another video talking about it and breaking it down, because I did kind of a live stream if you want to see that, but I kind of wanted to get more in depth here and talk about it. So again, MGM Grand, May 25th, their first show. That is on a Saturday, which is like right after, you know, like Mania, and then they have that. You would expect them, if they were going to do something, to piggyback off Mania, but that's not what's happening. But I think they got a lot of cool people involved with this. I would just like to see some more like top tier names to be involved. I feel like they need some of those top tier names secured, because yeah, Joey Janela, MJF, Britt Baker, Adam Page, they're all cool, but Jericho really sets it off, and I think Neville sets it off too, and Cody and the Bucks obviously are awesome. So I'd like to see some more top tier, like top tier guys be involved with this, and then I'll be sold. And then I also want to know what their like television or how they're going to do this, if they're going to run, because they're making a big deal out of it. It's not just going to be like a show here and there. I guarantee they're going after that WWE market there. They're trying to get a share of that mainstream pro wrestling. If they change stuff to give people good paycheck and give them health insurance and just make them happy, I feel like that's going to be perfect. Jericho said that he's not here for the money. He's here to change the universe. So we'll see, because he said he already has a lot of money. And that's very, very interesting. So I want to know what you guys think about All Elite Wrestling. Do you think it will be a success or a failure? Let me know in the comment section below if you think it's going to thumbs up or thumbs down. But honestly, Dave Meltzer came out and said, this has as much chance to succeed as the XFL does right now. And that's pretty good. That's a pretty good analogy, because I think the XFL is going to succeed, and we will just see if All Elite Wrestling will be able to succeed as well. But I think it's going to be awesome. I think the way that they're going about it, announcing Jericho, announcing Adam Page and Pac probably wrestling, Neville, Joey Janela, Penelope Ford, MJF, Britt Baker, Equal Pay, the shows, the OWE. I'm excited to see what that's all about. I mean, there's a lot of things that could go on. I feel like as far as the women's go, they were hyping it up about how Brandy was like, I met a lot of women as I was wrestling, traveling in Japan and doing all this stuff. We're going to have a pretty stacked women's roster. So I'm excited to see if they like partner up with like Shimmer or something like that. And the other thing is, like, are these guys going to be exclusive only contracts to me? That's what's going to sell it for me. If these guys are exclusive to All Elite Wrestling and they're going to make it like a major player in the pro wrestling thing, like another Monday Night War, I feel like these guys need to be exclusive. They really do. Anyway, guys, that's where I'm going to wrap it up today. As always, like I said, hit that like button if you enjoyed this. We will be back with more WWE and pro wrestling news and rumors here on The Slam. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you in another video.